Do you believe racism exists?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you have any proof of that?
Well, I obviously know the history a little of our country and of our world for that matter. Racism is not limited to the United States of America. But yes, racism exists and
Give,
still exists.
give me
I
proof.
believe we've made some progress in the last few years, in the last maybe generation or two, but honestly, I went to Atlanta some while ago. I'd never been to that city before. And I went to the Ebenezer Baptist Church because I wanted to see where Martin Luther King had preached. And across the street is a museum. And I went to the museum across the street, and I was absolutely shocked. I had no knowledge of Jim Crow laws. Do you know back then in the South that a black baseball team could not play on the same baseball diamond as a white baseball team, a little league team? We're talking little boys, that they were segregated by race, and they were also not allowed to even play on the same baseball field on different days. They were segregated physically, totally. The cemeteries were segregated as well. You could only be buried in certain areas. You couldn't be buried in the white cemetery. We all know about drinking fountains, where there were colored drinking fountains for black people and white drinking fountains for everybody else. Those kinds of divisions and separations, I think, are totally abhorrent and against God's will.
Amazing.
I personally think it is against God's will. And I think that we are doing the same thing with gender when we try to divide and separate and say, you can do this, but you can't do that. I believe it's up to the individual that God has given agency to make their decisions.
Hey there, Patriots. This is Trotlow Patriot coming at you with another one. I'm gonna play you a couple of clips, okay, on the three topics that I have on the title to this video. So it might be a little lengthy, but I'm gonna try to keep it short. I know I always say that, and I go a little overboard, but you know, it's not easy. Like I've said before, working all day and then trying to cram in all the day's leading headlines. You know, there's just so much stuff going on in this world, in this country, okay, that it is just hard to, you know, make 2 or 3 or 4 videos a day. I mean, if this is all I did, I definitely would. Hopefully someday I can get to that. But what I just played was a short clip. I'll leave a link in the description. This is Jesse Lee Peterson, okay, speaking to a Democratic senator if racism still exists, as you can see in the title. And she's saying, yeah, okay. And the thing about this is, okay, is that she is pointing out things that happened in the past. Of course, I mean, we should never forget our past, because everybody knows if you do, you know, you're doomed to repeat it. That's just the way it goes, you know. But leave it up to the left to try to erase certain parts of the past as a feel-good situation, and then of course it's going to repeat itself. But that's the way they do things. But anyway, before I continue, don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. I want to thank all my new subscribers, all my subscribers on YouTube and on Rumble, and all the support that I've been getting. Also, if you want to help support the channel, in the description I'll leave a link to my Cash App and PayPal. And stay with me. I'm going to make another announcement, something special at the end of the video. So with that being said, you heard her say about how she thinks that, you know, that it's, you know, it's against God, and, you know, it's ungodly and stuff like that, you know, racism, and to go against people, you know, when it comes to gender and all that. And you know what, she is right. It, you know, it's not right to be racist, okay, and it's definitely not right to discriminate against somebody because of their sexual preference. But here's the thing: the thing with the Democrats is that they know how to put lipstick on a pig. Okay, I mean, they're the best beauticians out there when it comes to this. Okay, you know, you can't say you're against racism and be racist yourself. Okay, you can't say that you think that everybody should respect everyone else's sexual identity, but yet you try to push your sexual identity on others, and especially on children. Okay, you have people screaming racism if you find someone who might be a suspected terrorist, okay, from another country that we know there are terrorists, and if you try to point it out, you're a racist. But then they'll use that to their advantage also when they want to shut the place down, saying there's a potential terror threat. Okay, and another thing, it's like they'll go against people's religion, saying that you're going against their religion. Okay, but yet they'll go back against your religion and mock it. Now, if you see what I did there, I just gave you 3 examples of the 3 stories that I'm about to show you right now. Okay, so this woman says things that happened in the past, and she believes that there is racism to this day. You'd have to be a fool to think there isn't. There is racism all around the world. Okay, there's also people that are racist against their own people. Okay, trying to commit genocide against their own kind. Case in point, look at all the small civil wars that have been happening in Africa, tribe against tribe. Okay, small country against small country. You know, and that goes on to this day. Nobody talks about that. Why? Because is it just the same as the black on black crime in Chicago? You don't want to talk about it? Is that not being racist? I mean, I don't know. Explain that. But they never can, because it doesn't fit their narrative. So she says that there's racism. She's bringing up stuff from the past that we all know about. She's also bringing up the fact about Jim Crow, which was started, once again, by the Democratic Party. Now, the next clip I'm going to play for you is of modern day racism. Okay, like she's saying. But I'd like to know her thoughts on it, and I'd like to know everybody else's thoughts on it in the comment box. But here we go. Now, you heard the woman in the last clip talk about racism. She's a Democrat, and you know, she says that racism is, you know, alive and kicking. We can all agree. But now I'm going to show you this video clip, this news clip, okay, of the Boston mayor, okay, who's a Democrat, proving her point. She's actually being racist. Don't believe me? Watch this.
No invite if you are a white person in Boston. The mayor there is Michelle Wu. She's facing backlash over her holiday party exclusively for, quote, electeds of color. So her office sent an email invitation to all city council members instead of just those of color. And then the mayor later had to defend that party invite last night. Watch.
Given some of the strife that exists, though, in this council, are you concerned this lends itself at all to further divisiveness?
No, I mean, again, this is a group that has been in place for many, many years. We want to be a city where everyone's identity is embraced and that there are spaces and communities that we can help support.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there because there's not much more to really be said. If you want to look it up, you can. But this is a prime example of, like I said, the Democrats are the best beauticians out there for putting lipstick on a pig. Okay? She specifically wanted to throw a Christmas party, and this is what they're not telling you, because if you go back to the full story, this is what happened. She put out an email, okay, to her staff that said they were throwing an exclusive Christmas party for people of color. No whites allowed. And then, without her realizing that the person that she left in charge to put the email out kind of didn't like go down the list of who was white, who was black, who was Asian, who was Spanish, and just sent it out to everybody. And then when they realized it, they tried to put out another email not specifically trying to apologize, but to try to put more lipstick on that pig. Like she's saying that, you know, this is a city that's, what did she say? Inclusive, or whatever the case is, or, you know, you see how the Democrats do this? So my thing is this. If the woman before, who's a Democrat, is talking to a black man, telling him that, oh, look at all this old racism that happened in the South, okay, as if, you know, Jesse Lee Peterson doesn't know. I mean, he's one of the smartest people out there, okay? I wonder if she feels if what this Asian woman is doing in America is racist. And if it is, will she call her out? And if it isn't in her eyes, I'd like to know why. Because what would have happened if a white person would have put that out saying that was only a Christmas party for white people? What if, I don't know, if a Spanish person did that? Okay? What if an Asian person did that and said there's only, you know, a Christmas party for Asian people? You know, it baffles my mind how these Democrats keep getting voters of all different races, and those voters don't look at this and say, wait a minute, I could have been in that category of being excluded. You know, and people wonder why people like me, you, my loyal subscribers, others that keep subscribing, do they not realize why we want nothing to do with the racist Democrat Party? And yet the Democrats keep calling Republicans racist. I've already come across, and I'm not going to put the names out, I've come across two content creators, okay, that are so damn left-leaning. I mean, they have millions of subscribers, and all they do is spew how Republicans and Trump supporters and conservatives and all that, how we are so racist, okay? And they get all the flack in the world. And yet you have a woman like this who's mayor in a very diverse city, in a city with history of fighting against tyranny. Unless she doesn't, you know her history. Boston Tea Party, ring a bell? And yet she's going to sit there and still try to justify as if what she did was right. The scary part of this is that how many black people, and nothing against black people, anybody that knows me knows my channel, I'm not racist, but how many would have followed suit and say, you know what, this is just an old black party. It was put together by the Asian woman because no whites are allowed. How would you see what I just used? Black, white, and Asian. How is that not racist? How is that inclusive? Okay? I mean, the only other thing she could have did to prove the other lady's point was to have an all-black gay Christmas party. Which, I have to talk like this because this is how asinine the Democrats are. The way they do things, the way they try to skirt around it, they try to put a spin on it. Like I said, they're the best beauticians on the planet. You know, they seriously know how to put lipstick and makeup on a pig. And I'll add one more to it. They're the best choreographers because they will try to make that freaking pig dance at the same time. Okay? So you'll have a dancing Democratic pig with makeup on, okay, telling the world that, you know what, this is the way it is. This is real. This is real. I really am a pig with makeup on and I can dance. And people wonder why the Democrat Party is losing. Okay. Now I got a lot more to say about this, but I'm gonna definitely try to keep this video short. Okay, because I got 2 more things to show you. But a lot of these things stem, like, I just want to bring up real quick, when the woman came out and said that she feels that everybody about their gender, that, you know, people pick on each other because of their gender, you know what she's alluding to. But she's going to go and put God in the mix. Okay? She'll say that, you know what, racism is wrong. But at the same time, you know, picking on somebody's gender, you know what she's talking about, the whole transgender movement. Okay? She's trying to put a spin on it. That's what Democrats do. What I find real ironic is the woman's age, and she talks about how she didn't know about a lot of these things in the South. Really? Really? No offense, lady. I'm definitely a lot younger than you, and I learned this when I was going to elementary school and junior high school and high school. And I didn't need a teacher to tell me. You know, if you were smart enough, you would have picked up a freaking book in the library and read it. But now in this day and age, you can't, because the books you pick up, the left says that, you know, they're being discriminated, is books on how boys, you know, can kiss other boys and little girls can kiss other little girls. But I digress on that. The next clip, I'm going to show you is once again how the left can take something and spin it around, knowing very well that they're the cause of it. But here we go.
From the director of the FBI.
Christopher Wray is sounding the alarm bells about the very real possibility of terror attacks in the United States due to the ongoing war between Israel and the terror group Hamas.
ABC's Liz Landers has more from Washington.
FBI Director Christopher Wray on Capitol Hill with a stark warning for Americans about the current terror threat level in the U.S.
I've never seen a time where all the threats, or so many of the threats, are all elevated, all at exactly the same time.
Threats to the U.S. are at an all-time high with the war raging between Israel and Hamas. A number of terror groups, including ISIS and Al-Qaeda, are using social media to call for attacks, including here in the U.S.
Given the steady drumbeat of calls for attacks by foreign terrorist organizations since October 7th, we're working around the clock to identify and disrupt potential attacks by those inspired by Hamas's horrific terrorist attacks in Israel.
Wray also urging Congress to renew a key U.S. spy program that would have major consequences if it expires at the end of this month. Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act allows the U.S. government to collect, without search warrants, the communications of targeted foreigners outside the country. Wray saying its expiration would be like unilateral disarmament in the current threat environment.
702 is key to our ability to detect a foreign terrorist organization overseas directing an operative here to carry out an attack in our own backyard.
Republicans and Democrats alike have criticized the spying ability that it grants, which has ensnared U.S. citizens and their data as part of surveillance of foreign targets. Wray also addressed other...
Okay, so you heard that. Okay, this is the second part, okay, to this video. Now, you know, when Obama was president, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, other terrorist groups were running rampant. Okay? Trump came in, told Al-Qaeda, one American soldier gets touched, gets as much as a scratch, I'm going to make you land into a damn parking lot. Al-Qaeda didn't budge. Went, took out ISIS, done. Fast forward, he wound up closing the border, so like that, you know, a lot of suspected terrorists wouldn't come in. He put sanctions on certain countries that are known breeding spots for terrorism, said they couldn't come into the country. People bitched and moaned and hollered, he's a racist. He was like, no, I'm protecting the country. Took care of it. We were great. Fast forward after that, Biden regime steps in. Al-Qaeda's back in business. ISIS is back. People have been bitching about the border being open. Please close it down. No, 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 no. You're just saying that because you're a racist. But now all of a sudden, there's, a big terror watch going on. As you heard Christopher Wray say it, everything is elevated. But here's the thing on that. What have we been hearing from the Biden regime, from Christopher Wray, from Mayorkas, from so many others, even from Biden himself? All we keep hearing is that the biggest threat in America is the rise of white supremacy, white nationalism, white racism. And yet, has anybody seen a mob of white people doing anything? Has anybody seen the KKK marching up and down the streets in their neighborhood? Has anybody seen gangs of white kids running around, beating people up, causing havoc? Now, I know a lot of people are going to get upset at me, and I'm not trying to say that, oh, all you're seeing is the black people do it. No, what I'm trying to do is make a damn point. Is that while people were bitching and complaining to their higher-ups because their higher-ups were not listening by telling them, listen, please close the border because we don't know who's coming through, the only ace card the freaking leftists could use was the white race card. And now that they've let so many people in, never let a good thing go to waste, right? Now we want to surveil people in the name of Homeland Security. And you just heard what the reporter said, that Democrats and Republicans alike are against it because they know, they don't want to say when, but they know that the last time they implemented something like that, they infringed on everybody's rights. Does the Obama administration ring a bell? Does the Bush administration ring a bell? The Patriot Act, which is not patriotic whatsoever, ring a bell? See, once again, this is what the Democrats do. They'll take something, they'll turn it to shit, and then they'll try to spread it on a plate and say that, oh, it's a plate of brownies. We're waiting for it, to dry, to cool down so we can cut it up in pieces and we will spoon feed it to you. No, sorry. Regardless of what you do, it's still going to be a plate of shit. So not only do they call out racism, they say there's racism, but you have the Democrats committing the racism. Okay? You have them calling other people in the country who care about this country white supremacists. While everybody is saying, no, we're not doing anything in the country. We just want our country to be safe. Oh, you can't say that you're just a racist for not wanting these people from other countries. But now they're going to spin it around. And of course, because something's up their sleeve. Of course, they're doing this, obviously. We all know that. Just like I said in my other video about the Venezuelans coming in and what's going on with Venezuela wanting to attack Guyana, go to war with them over their oil. But, I'm just saying, not a conspiracy, just my opinion. Wink, wink. But this is what they do. Okay? And then they'll go after anybody who's, an evangelical Christian and say that, oh, you just want to, you're against everybody. You hate everybody. But I've been saying it for the longest, for months, of how the Democrats want to take God out of the equation, out of the schools, out of the homes. They don't want to pledge allegiance to the flag. Biden rather put up an LGBTQ flag up in front of the White House before the American flags. Won't put up a Christian flag or anything like that, or anything that resembles the Lord Jesus Christ. Won't do that. He definitely won't do that. Okay? But then again, they want to go against, Iowa and take away certain things from Iowa, if you know what I mean. But Trump was like, no way, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna go campaign, I'm gonna get Iowa back for the people. Okay? But then what do they do in Iowa? Trump has been in Iowa the past month. I mean, back and forth. I mean, he's got Iowa, if I had to guess, at least 80%. It's his. We know this. But what do the Democrats do instead? They rather go against Christians and all that. Okay, and even some Republicans, okay? This is what they're going to do.
A satanic temple has set up a display inside the Iowa State House. It's the holiday season, and even secular government buildings display decorations for holidays that are rooted in religion, like Christmas trees and menorahs. For 14 days, the Satanic Temple has erected a display alongside these major religious symbols inside the rotunda of the Iowa State Capitol. Lucian Greaves, co-founder of the Satanic Temple, spoke to KCCI.
We're going to really relish the opportunity to be represented in a public forum. We don't have a church on every street corner.
Though the temple went through the correct administrative channels to present in the rotunda, the display is getting pushback.
One, I hope people realize spiritual warfare is real, that there are evil, satanic forces that are trying to infiltrate our state.
Iowa resident Shelley Flockhart said she was shocked to see the altar at the Capitol, so she organized a group to pray near the rotunda's Christmas tree. Greaves says no one is being forced to interact with the Satanic Temple's display.
My feeling is that if people don't like our displays in public forums, they don't have to engage with them. They don't have to view them.
It's a very dark, evil force. And I truly hope people know how to battle that.
The U.S. Department of Justice says religious liberty is enshrined in the text of our Constitution. It's in the First Amendment, where the writers of the Constitution protected the practice of all faiths by stating, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. The Satanic Temple is a federally recognized religion that does not actually believe in the existence of Satan or the supernatural. Unlike another religious organization, the Church of Satan. The Massachusetts-based tax-exempt temple says its mission is to encourage benevolence and empathy, reject tyrannical authority, advocate practical common sense, oppose injustice, and undertake noble pursuits. For Inside Edition Digital,
Okay. Let's just call it for what it is. A total bullshit. Okay? Couple of key things. The news goes on, not on this clip, but you can look it up. One of the state representatives, a Christian man, didn't like it. He tore it down. Good for him. Thank God. I'm glad. That's the first thing. And when he tore it down, I mean, they showed the next news clip, and it's like all over the floor. He just threw it in the damn pile. If I was him, I would have taken it outside and burned it, but they probably would have arrested him for freaking attempted arson or something like that. But now here's the thing. You have the Democrats that are telling people they won't, keep the Bibles in school. Okay? They won't, have regular prayer in the morning to the good Lord. But then they're going to say, you know what? It's federally protected for them to do what they want because they're a religion. No, let's just call it for what it is. Bullshit. It's spiritual warfare. It's good against evil. Nobody should ever think that being a Satanist or that they have a church is their religious freedom. No, they're basically just worshiping Satan, and that's it. Plain and simple. Okay? Plain and simple. Again, trying to put lipstick on a pig. Okay? What I find ironic is that now the Department of Justice is going to come out and say and protect them on their religious freedoms, but yet they're attacking Christians. And they have in their little book, working with another organization, of who they think like some, red flag groups are. Christians are among them. Not Satanists, Christians. Okay? So it's funny how they'll attack Christians, but they won't attack the Satanists. They have freedom of religion, but Christians don't, Because even during COVID, they were busting churches and telling them to close down because they could not, have service because they couldn't be in a big group. And this wasn't going on just here. It was going on in Canada. It was going on in the UK. It was going on everywhere. So they attack the Christians, but they'll let the Satanists do what they want because, they're a protected class. Yeah, I get it. Right. Now, some people may say, well, you know what? As an adult, it's okay for them to pick and choose that. Okay, that's fine. If that's what you believe, that's good. That's good. But remember, because the last clip I'm going to show you, you need to understand what's going on. They talk about racism, but yet they implement racism. They talk about gender rights, but yet they're trying to push the gender ideology on innocent children. They talk about religious freedom, but they criticize the Christians. They go on the side of the Satanists. They call about white systemic racism and the rise of white power and all that, but yet they're talking about a terror threat, but they do nothing to stop all the pro-Palestinian protests that are going around all over the country who are attacking other people. They say nothing about that. So what about the kids? Oh yeah, about the kids. This is what they want also for the kids. And this is why the Democrats, in my opinion, are just damn lost. Here we go. Okay. They won't teach about the Lord Jesus Christ in school during Christmas time because they say it will offend people. But guess what schools in Tennessee are doing? Let's read it together. Okay? This came out on the 13th. Satan Club plans to meet after school classes at elementary school. A flyer about the club says the Satanic Temple is a non-theistic religion that views Satan as a literary figure who represents a metaphorical construct of rejecting tyranny and championing the human mind and spirit. Wow, that's a lot of fucking lipstick on a pig. An after-school Satan Club plans to begin offering activities to children at a Tennessee elementary school following Christmas break, officials say. Yeah, don't teach them about what Christmas really is. Let's just teach them about Satan. Why don't we do that? Uh-huh. Oh, wait, who runs Tennessee? Oh, that's right, Democrats. Okay, hold on. The Satanic Temple plans to host a club at Chimney Rock Elementary School in Cordova, news outlets reported. It will begin meeting on January 10th in the school's library and run through this spring semester, according to an announcement Tuesday posted on social media. A flyer about the club says the Satanic Temple is a non-theistic religion that views Satan as a literary figure who represents a metaphorical construct of rejecting tyranny and championing the human mind and spirit. Lipstick on a pig, of course. What else does it say? Oh yeah, it says it does not attempt to convert children, ding 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 ding, key phrase, keep that in mind, to any religious ideology, but offers activities that emphasize a scientific, rationalistic, non-superstitious worldview. Really? Okay. Memphis Shelby County Schools said in a statement that the district would rent out the space to the organization per its policy. As a public school district, we're committed to upholding the principles of the First Amendment. Here we go again. It's always good for everybody on the left. It's never good for people on the right. Okay? Certain social media platforms, which guarantees equal access to all nonprofit organizations seeking to use our facilities after school hours. The statement said, this means we cannot approve or deny an organization's request based solely on its viewpoints or beliefs. Oh, really? Okay, that was that. So here we go. Now they're after the kids again. Okay, this is how the Democrats do it. Okay, they won't teach about Christianity during Christmas. It's not, you don't hear about it, like you don't see the news talking about, oh, they're having this giant, story time speaking about the Lord Jesus Christ. I don't even think I've heard a Democratic news media outlet use the whole term the Lord Jesus Christ, to tell you the truth. I mean, if they have, I stand corrected, but I haven't. But they'll go and want to push stuff like this on kids. Okay, Now, you heard the woman in the first clip talking about, oh, how people, want to push, telling people what they can and cannot do. And of course, people are going to say, well, it's up to the parents to send their kids here. Oh, really? Okay. So let's just let the parents just breed more little Satanists. God bless their souls. And I mean that. Because what these kids need is God. They don't need Satan in their lives. And what really gets me, and the reason why I bring this up, is because Tennessee is on such a downward spiral that you would think that the people would say, no, we are sick and tired of this spiritual battle that's going on in society. Okay? We don't need to be teaching Satanist classes. Maybe we should teach more classes of love. Start teaching the Bible to kids. Okay? Enough with the radical left protest. Enough with all the bullshit, the transgenderism. Enough with all this. Now, some people might say, no, you know what? That's fine because, we're all inclusive. It's great. Okay. If that's the case, then I'll just almost end the video with this. And here's a clip. And this is from 2023. Memphis, Tennessee crime report. Based on the most recently available data released October 17, 2023, we found the following about crime in Memphis. There were 59,912 total crimes committed in Memphis the last reporting year. On a rate basis, there were 9,586.8 total crimes per 100,000 people in Memphis. The overall crime rate in Memphis is 312.48% above the national average. The highest crime-ridden city in the country. And the Democrats are saying that the Satanists have the right to teach their pathetic ideology? What they need is more Jesus. And I'm not trying to be cute. What the Democratic Party needs is an awakening. This is why the Democrats are pushing so damn hard on every level. From the race card to religion to terrorism to controlling the news to just to your children. Every damn thing. Everything that they touch, if you look at it, it is nothing but the opposite of what good people want. It is the total opposite. Okay? It's good versus evil. Good versus bad. It is the total opposite. But the beauty of all this is that more and more people on their side are waking up. And they're leaving. The sad news about it is that they know it, and they're flooding the country with more illegals, which in turn is raising up the crime threat and the terror threat. So let it be known. That's what I got for you. Hope you liked it. Please comment, like, share, subscribe, pass it around. Okay? Help the channel grow. This is a big movement. And not just for my channel, but for many channels. In case anybody has heard, a couple of channels just got into some trouble. I'm not going to mention any names. Look it up, you'll see. Very predominant. And I'll just put it this way. One's a black American guy. Okay, American black guy. The other one's an American Hispanic guy. Let's put it that way. So much for diversity and inclusion from the left. For them to get censored. Okay. Also, what I wanted to say was the artwork is almost finished. Just a couple of more, details. Once that's done, I'm going to start production on the merchandise, t-shirts and stuff like that. I wanted to try to get it done to get everything out and open up the store before Christmas, I should say. But hopefully, if all goes well, I'll be able to get it up to start the new year, which would be great. So I'll just keep everybody on board with that as time goes on. But got some good art coming. I hope everybody's going to like it. I'm excited. And it's something that, that's going to be ours, man. It's going to be part of the movement. Okay, so if you want to help support the channel, of course, when the merch comes out, you can do it that way. You can donate to the channel via my Cash App or PayPal, or you can have, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Invite your family and friends if they like what, if they like the content. Tell them welcome aboard and subscribe to the channel. But just keep all this in mind. There's a lot going on, people. So remember, stay vigilant, keep praying, and keep praying for each other. Peace. And Merry Christmas. Peace.